No, grazie, no, non un'intervista al volo quando...
No swearing, you can't be swearing on. We should just say that this seems already, we're a little bit late to the party on this, it seems already to be pretty much where you'd hoped to raise 20,000. It's at 16,000 plus now. Originally going to be in April. I'm just wondering where it all started. Was it something that a conversation just grew that this would be a good idea, or whether somebody brought it to you, or?
Well, we normally do, Paul. We normally run, every year we go away for a few days and run long distances. It tends to be about 6 or 8 of us, or 10 of us go away for a weekend and we do ultra runs, 80 kilometers or so. And we've been doing it for fun, and we raise funds a couple of times. And then this year we say, well, even before COVID, we say, why don't we do it at home and get more people involved? And hence the idea of Greystone to Galway. We saw, how can we run far for a couple of days? And just somebody says, we go from here to Galway and coast to coast, have a dip in the sea here, have a dip in the ocean, and then we decided to raise funds for Lost for Life in Crumlin. So that's where it all started, and it started off from a few of us, and now there's 18 of us going.
That's a fantastic number. I know a few people are going to pop in and out like along the route, and you're inviting people to join you for 5 kilometers or 10 or whatever they want to do of the day. But getting that 18 that just seems like normally there is like a 4 or 5 man group when you're off on your run, but that's fantastic. Did that happen quite quickly? I don't know how you got so many people involved.
I suppose word got out. There was always a core, as Andrea said. We always set a challenge mid-November and we say, what are we going to do next year in April? And this year it was the Mindful West run, so there's always a core group of 6 or 8 of us, and I guess because it was at home and because of Andrea's guru status, following the Pied Piper. No, people heard about it, they liked the idea, and they said, well, it's in Ireland, it's easy to get to, and why not have a go?
Now, I suppose Crumlin's Children's Hospital is an obvious choice for a lot of people, but a Lust for Life I hadn't heard of before, and I know they've got a current campaign, It's Not the End of the World. I mean, was that something that you were very aware of, or did you go looking for something that you felt was a good fit? Or
yeah, no, I've done a couple of things with them through the podcast, and what I liked about they create a space for mental health and discussion around mental health. And Not the End of the World was the original project we were going to fund, which is all around teenagers and living search. Obviously then COVID happened, and they now moved it to a different project that just come out. It's not a podcast that's recorded by teenagers, for teenagers, all around mental health. So we just thought the reason we're doing it is because of create awareness around mental health. And to answer your question, why 18 people? Because I think people realize that having a run the way we're doing it, which is not having to, you don't have to do anything. You can come out for 1, 2, 3, 10k, 20, 100k, whatever you want. It's that step by step getting somewhere, as opposed to be the superhero that does the 250k. I think that can appeal to people. Okay, I can be part of something without being a superhero. And the training now, people started, they were doing 5k, they're now doing 10, they might do 20, and some of them are saying, okay, we're going to do 45. So the training has brought them up to the level they want to be, but when they joined, they were saying, okay, I might only do 5k, So I think that's progression and step by step has kind of appealed to people.
I get the impression both of you would be sort of match fit all year round. I don't know whether this is a big challenge where you have to go and hit it hard to get ready for this.
Yeah, well, we're always out running, purely on a social basis. We're not breaking records, and we're not built for speed anymore. So we are built for going as slow as we can for as long as we can. So yeah, we have been training all year, Paul. Especially during COVID, what else was there to do, I suppose.
Right.
The main challenge with this is we're doing it over 3 days, which breaks it down to, on average, about 80k a day.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing to do a massive, epic 80k one day. It's another thing to get up and do it again the second day, the third day. Now, there's superheroes out there who do it. They do these, at the weekend, there was the Galway Bay Ultra, it's 200 kilometers. You can do that in 25 hours. But they're, a particular group of people that are very fine tuned to that sort of sport. We're your average, common or garden runners that enjoy running, enjoy each other's company, have the crack, and tend to do it on a weekly basis. But we've slotted this challenge in that is challenging enough, but at the same time quite possible.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, for some reason, I just feel this will be easy for you, but maybe that's completely wrong. Maybe there is a fear that going to be sore. Especially that second day is like the middle of the night. The last day will have its own feeling. The first day has the feeling, but that middle day is like, well, we're going through the middle of the.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be easy. That's for sure. And I think that's the idea again, to have a support, to have people around you that going to help you through it. And the other thing important to say, if any of us feel that second day, look, I can't get up, I need to wait until lunchtime, guess what? Nobody's going to bash you around the head, because that's what life is all about. You know,
Right.
you can't always be on top of it. So, but the support around everybody, making sure we have the right food and the right support every day will get us through the line. That's what we open.
I suppose the thing, just to wrap up, I suppose the one good thing I've noticed in society, and certainly in Ireland, like mental health is something now that's quite easy to talk about. There would have been a time when it was just a weakness to suggest that you had any kind of doubts or any kind of dark journeys into the soul. That does seem a lot more positive now, that people absolutely kind of accept, especially when you look at the open forum and things like that. There's an awful lot of people out there who just would need to, kind of find a little bit of peace or find a little bit of centre or.
Yeah, and I think just on that, I think it's important to mention some of the sponsors we have, because very much on that, the companies that get involved are CISC, are Kimbuka Ireland, are Dell, Microsoft, and PJ Hegarty. So they're all big companies that have seen the importance of mental health in the workplace, and that's really, really important to us, that it's not just a couple of individuals. The companies are really taking this seriously, and they're talking about it, and they're making sure that some of the staff that are either doing the run or not doing the run are talking about the importance of it.
Well, your podcast as well and the talks would sort of open up that, that sense that it's good to talk, basically. It's good to sort of express these things, and because the pub is no longer a place that people gather in the way they used to, and maybe a certain amount of, issues were dealt with in a joking way, but still they were addressed. There is a need really now to open it up.
And what we're doing with that, we're going to create a 3-part series documentary on the journey. There will be a piece of work that'll be available to everybody to listen to all the stories, the pain, the fun, everything that goes on in the 3 days. Actually, it's going to start recording from this week's training.
Okay.
It's going to be the whole journey, and so it'll be a 3-part series, hopefully documentary style, that people can listen to and see the benefit or otherwise
Nice.
of a run.
Please tell me, when you arrive in Galway Bay, you look wretched and dishevelled. And do you ever reach that point? Do you ever look like crap because you've been running
Absolutely,
too far?
yeah.
If you could take a photograph, it would just be good as a kind of a.
Frame, I suppose.
Great. Magico.